The January 7th meeting of the Lafayette Common Council will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda for this evening is the election of officers. There'll be the election of the President and President Pro Tem of the Council for the following year. Is there a... Oh, do a roll call first.
Heidi?
Here.
Blinker?
Here.
Meyer? Reynolds?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Allersmeyer? Here. Williamson? Here. Downing?
Here.
Campbell? See, you guys, I've got you all looked up.
Here.
All right, now going on the election of officers. First, the election of President, Mr. Heidi.
I'd like to nominate Ron Campbell for President of Lafayette City Council.
And Mr. Second. There's a motion and a second to elect Mr. Campbell as President. Seeing no other nominations, I'll entertain a motion to close nominations and elect Mr. Campbell. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now it's pass the gavel to Mr. Campbell.
All right. Thank you. Second piece of business is the election of a President Pro Tem. Take nominations.
I would like to nominate Mr. Meyer for President Pro Tem.
Second? Second. Are there any other nominations? There being none, I would ask that we have a motion to elect Mr. Meyer as the President Pro Tem by acclamation. Favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. You have received the minutes of the December 3rd meeting. What would you like to do with those minutes? Kevin?
I move we approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Presentation and disposal of claims,
There are none.
petitions and communications,
There are none.
reports of city offices,
Clerk's Office, November. Water Works Department, November. Water Pollution Control Department, November. Fleet Maintenance Department, November.
Those reports are on file in the city clerk's office. Anyone who would like to take a more lengthy look at them, you're welcome to go to the clerk's office anytime during business hours. There are no ordinances for second reading, ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2013-01, an ordinance to amend the subdivision ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, USO, Amendment Number 6.
Mr. Meyer.
Move for passage of ordinance 2013-01.
Mr. Clinker. Second. Any discussion by members of the Common Council, possibly Mrs. Williamson or possibly Jerry?
It was 14-0 at the Airplane Commission 4.
This is just to add time to people that have taken out a subdivision and have not gotten it taken care of in a timely manner. It just doubles it from 5 years to 10 years they have to do something about it. So.
Any questions of either of the representatives of the APC? Members of the audience wish to address this particular ordinance. There being no comments, then would the clerk please conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2013-1.
Heidi?
Aye.
Blinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Meyer?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinance 2013-2.
An ordinance to amend the subdivision ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, USO, Amendment Number 7.
I move for passage of ordinance 2013-02 on first and final reading.
Okay. Second. And a report from the APC people?
This just asks for a PDF digital copy of anything you turn into the ABC also, so just kind of bringing them up to the 21st century, getting rid of some of the paperwork. Yeah. Mhm.
Anything else?
Again, 14, before.
Thank you. Any comments by members of the audience? There being none, would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on 2013-2?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinance 2013-3.
An ordinance to vacate a portion of the public way in the city of Lafayette, Indiana, a portion of land in Austin subdivision off Poland Hill Road. Dave Murtaugh, petitioner.
What's the pleasure of the council? Mrs. Alston?
I move for passage of ordinance 2013-3.
Brown?
Second.
Comments by members of the common council? Would any audience wish to address this? We've got half the Murtaugh family there.
Petitioners here.
We should get somebody. I picked out the attorney to talk. I hope you're getting paid.
Reed Murtaugh, representing the petitioner, Dave Murtaugh. This is a tract of land where James Murtaugh owned each contiguous lot. So the city had made no improvements, so that would be the reason for we're asking for the land to be vacated without any payment. The benefit in the future to the city will be that it will be now part of the entire lot and will be taxed as well as the other land. The estate is requesting this so that the land can hopefully be sold and benefit the city, excuse me, will have the future benefit of that revenue.
Any questions of Mr. Murtaugh? Thanks, Reed.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to address this ordinance? Hearing no comments, would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance
Public hearing.
Wait,
Yeah, you're right.
3,000?
2013-03.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, Mr. Heidi.
2013-2, go ahead.
Mr. Heidi.
Do you have to have a public hearing on this? Is that?
We'll get that later. You're
Aye.
way ahead of the game.
Okay, yes. Aye.
Mr. Heidi, Mr. Clinker.
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Mr. Heidi, I would ask that you move for the public hearing on the 4th day of February at 7:01.
No problem. Ordinance number 2013-06 for a public
That's
hearing.
no problem, like you moved for that.
Yes, I moved for that.
Say, okay, thank you.
That's a good job.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Resolution 2013-01.
A resolution approving the detail of 2013 Water and Wastewater Department budget.
What's the pleasure of the council on that? Mr. Meyer?
Move for passage of resolution 2013-1.
Second.
Gibson, thank you. Any comments by members of the common council? Mayor?
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, before you, you have the budgets for the 2013 Water and Wastewater Department. As you know, part of your responsibility as the council is to confirm these budgets that were passed by the Board of Works in a meeting back in December. All of you have been provided a narrative from our controller, Mike Jones, which I hope all of you found extremely helpful, outlining the parts of the budget, the increases in the budget, and what those will go for. A little bit of background that we do every year. When we put together these budgets, we look for several things. First and foremost, quality and value to our customers, our ratepayers here in the city of Lafayette, for us to have the funds and the ability to complete processes and projects that keep us in compliance. Promote economic development through capacity, efficiency, cost, and customer service, and obviously to protect our waterways and to protect the environment by the projects that we do and the processes that we do. We feel that we have a tremendous water and wastewater department. We have very efficient utilities. We do a lot of projects, as you probably see. I think these budgets are put together well by the department heads and the controller's office, and they achieve these goals that I have outlined for you, and I respectfully I request your approval of these budgets. At this time, I'll turn it over to our controller, Mike Jones, who can go through the narrative with you, or be happy to answer any questions, any particular questions from the narrative that you might have. Thank you.
Any questions of the mayor?
Mr. President, Mike Jones, Controller. As I outlined in the narrative, the budget itself, we split it into the two parts, the water and the wastewater. We have the same raises that we gave in the civil city, the 2% raise. We also have the same, unfortunately, health insurance raise, which was 17%, 17.6. We also have our PERF rate going up this year. We had 8%, it goes up to 9.25. That's a mandate from the state. Like most pension plans, they calculate that they would earn a certain amount of interest on the fund as it goes along. That rate has been 7.5%. The actual rate of growth was about 3%. So in order to make up the fund so it won't be short, we get assessed. And over the last 2 years, that assessment amounts to about a 33% increase over what it was. Having said that, the state is still more conservative than our neighbors to the west and some other states, but still the earnings just haven't been there. So that had to go up. Again, we do use a zero-based type of budget. It's not a pure zero base, but we take a look at each position. Is there going to be a retirement? Are we going to fill it with somebody that falls down the grid line? And so when we have a 2% increase, it won't be a flat 2% across the board. We will adjust for all those nuances that go on and what we can anticipate. The waterworks itself increased $374,000. $280,000 of that came from the insurance, the PERF benefit, and a reallocation of the phone expense, which, I don't know, we went back into August when we first talked about the civil city, and the IT department had been carrying the whole telephone expense, and we split it out among the utilities and the civil city. And then another major expense is in the transmission and distribution department. There's an $80,000 increase. We were actually taking that money from the depreciation fund, and we determined that it's truly not an asset purchase, but more of a maintenance and repair type operation. So we moved that to the operational line, and that's where most of that increase came from. In addition, there are several projects. Water main relocates at Old Romney Road, North Street, Twickenham. We have a meter change-out program to add the radio read meters and update those. Weah Ridge Tower Engineering, the SCADA system design and implementation, the on-site chlorine generation, and hoping to put a new pump in at the Columbian Park pumping station. We've got a tower interior refurbishing on Union Street and Eastland Drive service extension, and then a new hydrostop system which helps repair brakes. And if there's any money left, then we purchase hopefully 4 pickup trucks to rotate the fleet and move some of the others to they're still good through the other departments. Water pollution control, the overall budget raised $1.2 million. A great deal of that is due to the fact that we've added a work crew in Storm. Storm has been an ongoing process since day one, and we are out there working, but we're found the need to add another work crew in order to accomplish all of that. Again, the insurance, the PERF, the telephone system, of that $1.2 million, $800,000 approximately is from the PERF and the addition of the work crew and the telephone system. Storm is kind of an ongoing project, but it's taking shape and looking very much like the other departments at this point. Always take a look at doing revamping the contract services and again, a lot of the admin costs to make it look like the other departments in the water pollution control. Ongoing projects for both the CSO long-term plan, the Service Area 21, green infrastructure feasibility. You'll notice that many of the energy costs have dropped due to the green studies that have gone on and the implementation that's been done. Hopefully we can continue to drop that with the solar fields and what have you, eventually maybe come off the grid entirely. That's one of the goals. North Street reconstruction, the Cincinnati Interceptor be finished up, Union Street, Durkee's Run, Valley Street drainage. We also have the need for SCADA equipment there, which is a system control system, computer system. Storage tanks, generators for the lift stations, 2 pumps out at Ross Road, a Prairie Oaks pump, several other pumps down at the plant itself. We also hope to buy a mower for the excavator for that Storm purchased, another jet truck, a couple more street sweepers, and equipment storage building to go up, or among some of the other projects that we have. So Brad's got a full plate, and obviously Carrie does too with all the projects, but if there are any specific questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
A quick question, Mike. The storm department, I know we implemented the storm water fee a couple years ago, and that's being phased in. I don't think are we up to full speed on that yet?
Well, this last work crew should bring us to
I mean, in terms of the revenue, the fees.
Oh, the fees, yes. The fees now are at, yeah, we did delay the income on that, but that is now in place.
And so are we finding that the revenues that we're bringing in there is meeting these administrative costs?
Yes, very.
Okay.
And allowing us to start ahead with the project list.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, very good.
Somebody down there in the waterworks / stormwater, are you going to, who's going to, well, you're all pointing fingers there.
Water is under the wastewater department.
Are you looking into propane trucks? I noticed that you, Mike said something about 4 or 5 pickup trucks. Propane fuel.
No, we hadn't considered going with propane.
Will you look at them?
Sure.
Good.
Okay. Be glad to. I'll get with Mr. Bullis down at Fleet, and we'll take a look at it. Oh, you're welcome.
And the last thing, a positive comment, North Street is terrific. Any other questions of these folks or anybody else? But in the audience wish to address this. Follow on. There being no comments, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2013-1?
Heidi?
Aye.
Blinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Meyer?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. Comment here on the resolutions. Oh, okay, good enough, thank you. Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor. Miscellaneous and new business, I believe that we've got a an appointment to make for the Redevelopment Commission. Mr. Clinker.
I move that Don Teeter and John Thiem be reappointed for the Redevelopment Commission.
Mr. Meyer.
Second.
Any comments about that appointment for Mr. Teeter and Mr. Thiem? There being none, by a voice vote, would you give your positive approval for those two gentlemen? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. The clerk was kind enough to give you all a sheet with the committee appointments. I'd like you to look that over and get it back to us. Let's say the fourth, the caucus prior to the meeting of February the 4th, and that would be January the 30th. So if you get those sheets back to me by the 30th, the way it stands right now, I would leave them just the way they are, but you are free to, if you want to change those, you are free to put in a request and have it turned down. Let's see. Council appointments, we've taken care of that. Reports of councilmen. I would make a report of whoever designed the crossing on Poland Hill Road did an outstanding job. It didn't take long for somebody to hit that abutment that's on the one side, but it is just terrific. Will that be our last one, Mayor or Jenny? Are there any more that will be?
Train crossing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Poland Hill,
It's terrific.
and we did Concord Road,
Okay.
on 18th, 9th, that, and
Good. Well, I'll have to go on those roads and check them out, because that one is terrific. Reports of councilmen. There being none, we have public comment, and once again, we welcome public comment, but we have to caution you that with regard to the public comment, we would hope that you would be, as I said, for golfers, do it in a gentlemanly or ladylike manner. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Lloyd Wells, 3717 Rawlings Drive. There's a situation that needs your immediate attention. We have an Indiana institution that needs your support tonight. Blue Notre Dame.
What? I don't know if you all...
That's a private instance.
Yes, sir.
Earl Stanton, 1013 Elizabeth Street. I just have a couple questions. Are we looking at, as West Lafayette just did, providing the big trash containers for recycling? Yes.
yes, we have talked about that in honesty for about the last 2 years, maybe close to 3, but we just haven't had the financial means to buy that next round of large toters, and a lot of ours were still in pretty good shape. So, but we do plan to do that. We plan to start out actually in Jerry's district there, out in the landings and commons as the test area, because they recycle very, very heavily out there and do a good job. So Ron Berryman's ready, Dan Kroll is ready. Mike Jones tells us we have the money, and him and I agree that we can spend that. We do plan to start the test area and then implement that throughout the city. Our goal, and I really appreciate Earl bringing it up, because at some point we'll do a full-blown press conference. Our goal is eventually that everybody in the city would have a large toter with a recycling emblem on it, something to designate it as recycling for your recycling, and your trash toter would only be the small one. That's what we need to get to. One of the ways that we keep trash service free is by recycling, and we do fairly well, but we've got to improve that. We've got to flip the size. Because even in West Lafayette, I mean, they do charge an extra $9 a month fee for trash pickup, and we're still one of the few cities that don't charge anything extra. So we need to do that, and we need to get to that flip. And I do that at my house. I mean, I have just a small toter and 4 blue bins, and I mean, it can be done, and that's the ratio we need to get to. But yes, we hoping to get there, and we'll start out in the landings and commons with the test area.
Could there be large recycling stickers affixed to the larger ones so that becomes the recycling
Yeah, that's
center?
what we want to do. We don't want to buy the blue ones, because then you can't interchange them if you need to, if you run short. We were talking about just blue lids, but still you're buying a different lid, so we're just going to come up with a sticker that can be put on them to save money and to make them more interchangeable if we run into something.
Oh, we'll give you credit for that idea. What else, sir?
I do have another question. Mr. Campbell brought it up when he asked about the propane fuel trucks. I noticed that Mayor Ballard had an initiative to have all Indianapolis city vehicles, maybe except for police and fire, because, you know, those have high performance issues. And by 2023, he wants to have all Indianapolis city vehicles, either hybrid or something to that effect, like biofuel or something, enviro car vehicles. I was wondering if we were planning to do that too.
Well, I think the folks in the waterworks are going to look into it.
We actually looked at compressed natural gas and actually looked at even trying to get a grant. The issue for us is the cost of the refueling stations right now for propane and compressed natural gas are so expensive to build that you have to have a huge fleet. We had talked to Purdue even to see if there would be a way to collaborate, because to make it worth the expense of creating the refueling station that has to be in place to do that. So we did actually bring Purdue. We talked about that, and we have talked about hybrids, and we've looked at electric vehicles. And right now, it's still, for a community with the fleet the way we use it, it still doesn't quite make financial sense. I mean, does it make environmental sense? Absolutely. But from a strictly financial standpoint right yet, we're not quite there. In fact, if you remember, we hosted an electric vehicle demonstration a few years ago down at Fleet Maintenance, and then Purdue hosted another one with us, and we went over there trying to kind of get that going. And so we continue to look at that. We'd like to do it, but we need the numbers to work out, but we're certainly keeping our eye on that.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other comments by members of the audience? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Perry Barber, 3700 Redbud. First, I'd like to say Happy New Year's to y'all. And it's funny, the last gentleman is speaking about the recycling, and that's one thing I was going to mention is about that. I know we talked about that a couple years, 3 years ago now, and we talked about that then here at the council. I brought that brilliant idea up, and I got a note from the, I don't like to say trash, I like to say recycling service. They're going to change the recycling date from mine on Tuesday to Thursday. I don't have, the biggest thing I got a kick out of that, they said now it's going to be, instead of bringing 3 trucks out, they're going to only bring 1 recycling center truck out to save time and money. And I don't know in y'all's neighborhoods, but you will see one guy come out, disrespect it, then you have another truck come around behind it, then another truck, and they'll throw, a lot of times the recycling don't get into the recycling truck. It gets thrown in with the trash. And
The recycling.
yes, but they better bring 3 trucks out. And I see this all over town, not just in my neighborhood.
Right. We do 1 truck. may very well be.
But I see the man put the blue tub, throw it into the trash, then he goes to get the debris and throw it in the same hopper. Not two different hoppers, in the same hopper.
There shouldn't be.
I have everyone, and this is not just an isolated one part of town or one area of town. This is a city. What?
There are 3 trucks that will.
Yeah.
Trucks that will come.
Perry, we will talk to Mr. Kroll and alert him to the fact that somebody put the trash in the wrong truck or the recycling.
You know, it's a human's going to make mistakes. That's just part of the game. Overall, I think they do a good job, and one thing I do want to commend the,
The other part too, just real, sorry for interrupting, but I want to.
the older trucks, they just toss it into when they
The
use.
rear packers?
Yes.
Yeah, the rear packers
Yes.
pick up.
And some of that can be more in the recycling instead of just throwing it into the trash. One thing, the day after Christmas, we had a water problem right in front of my house, and I'd like to commend the crew that fixed that right away. They did an outstanding job. They took care of the problem and cleaned up the mess. Don't give them that.
Got a few seconds. Tony interrupted you.
But I think they did an outstanding job on that. Thanks everybody, and I hope everybody have a great New Year's.
Thank you, Perry.
Perry.
Anyone else?
I just want to clear up something.
A what?
Hydrostats, help
Okay.
water, water, take care of.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Mike Roush, Operations Manager of the Street Department. Yeah, I'd just like to inform Perry and give you some information about the way we do things in the Street Department as far as sanitation goes. We do monitor the guys. We had one situation one time where guys actually did throw recyclables into the trash. They'd been in a hurry, and they made a bad judgment call, but we do discipline people pretty severely for that type of stuff, because it's extremely important to us in the city that we put the recyclables into the proper containers. And also we have a large item truck, which is what Perry was probably seeing. We do take all types of trash into that truck that will not fit into the regular trash trucks, and recyclables don't go into that truck. Just the stuff that they come around the second trip around after the first guys go through and grab trash and recyclables. This truck comes around and grabs all the large items that
Thank you, Mr.
we
Roush.
do monitor it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Heidi?
I move to adjourn. Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you.
Yep.